With so many faith-based movies coming out, who doesn't love a good story about faith, hope, and love? But sometimes, the greatest redemption takes place when you are farthest from God, facing impossible odds. Well, my good friend Kevin Sorbo is with me right here in the homestead today to talk about his latest film, which is based on a true story that took place some time ago in an Indonesian prison. Let's take a look.
Terry, the president has declined all last-minute reprieves, so they will be executed by firing squad.
Megan, Peter Lowe, the one-time drug dealer turned pastor, along with two others, will be executed at 12 midnight local time.
This is CIA, Contagious Influencers of America. I'm David Sams. My good friend Kevin Sorbo is back at it again with his latest film, The Firing Squad. And it's coming into theaters nationwide August the 2nd. Now, of course, Kevin rose to worldwide fame as TV's Hercules and has gone on to shoot over 85 movies, including the box office sensation God's Not Dead. He's an author, actor, director, producer, father of three, and husband to his amazing producing partner, actress Sam Sorbo, and together they have Sorbo Studios. Kevin is going to share about filmmaking outside of the Hollywood system, and so this conversation is one that you won't want to miss. Now, this movie, The Firing Squad, is a true jailhouse redemption story about courage, resilience, and the transformative power of salvation when faced with certain death, as in death row. So today I have Kevin with me right here at the Homestead Studio, and you're going to love this interview. Remember, the movie comes out August the 2nd, so this is very timely. We're just days away. So here's my interview with Kevin Sorbo. Well, welcome to the Homestead, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here at this location.
I usually come to your house.
I know you do. Thank you. But now, I actually live close to you now, even though it's Florida.
Well, we used to live 5 minutes
California.
apart.
I know.
In California.
Good old Westlake Village.
So what's the biggest change since you moved? What are you feeling?
Biggest change in terms of just state-wise?
Yeah, just the move.
Oh, I see the big difference in terms of what's going on in the politics in Florida compared to the politics of California. I mean, California's destroyed itself. I see so many different numbers, but I think there's millions have left that state in the last 10 years. Uh-huh. They're negative flow. I mean, I know a lot of people that are still there that say, I'm going to wait till my kid graduates, and then we're out of here.
Yeah.
You see the growth of, your state here in Tennessee, Texas, and Florida. I think we're the big three. They're saying they're averaging close to 1,000 people a day moving in. You see it here in your roads. You see it. You're getting some areas that look like California traffic now.
Yeah.
And we get that in Tampa and also down in Miami. Where I'm at, Westlake's still busy, but not like that.
So do you think the people who have escaped, you think they're people that absolutely wanted to get out and they're not going to bring their weird politics, or these are the conservatives who had to escape? What do you think? What do you think?
I think a combination too, but I think in this last batch in the last 4 or 5 years, I think is mostly, I'd say more than 60% conservatives. Mm-hmm. I still think there's a number of liberals that have
60% is too close for comfort for
I
me.
know it is.
I like to say 80%.
No, I know. Well, look, I see Dallas has turned into Austin. Mm-hmm. I got too many friends live. I lived there for a year and a half. I still got friends there saying, you can't believe how much it's changed here. So unfortunately, people move. They're going to Idaho. They're going to Nevada. They're going to Arizona. I mean, I still don't believe that Trump lost Arizona, but that's a whole nother issue. And I think they bring their politics with them, and I don't think it's on purpose. Some may be on purpose. Some left California for the same reasons that you and I did, but they still vote the same way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're like, wow, things are starting to happen here like California. They can't figure it out. It's because it's the way you vote. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw the big billboards in Texas saying, don't California or Texas.
Yeah.
And in Florida, they're putting up signs that don't New York or Florida. So it's the same type of thing.
Years ago, I'm talking about, 25 years ago, I came here for a music seminar, and one of the guys with one of the labels said, he stood up and says, "Don't Californicate Tennessee." I'm like, that's a great line.
Look, I was down in Naples a year and a half ago. I was down there for, we went down, we had a friend, we stayed on the beach, had a blast with family over New Year's. Mm-hmm. So I'm a golf nut, as you know. So I'm golfing. This guy joins me. He was from San Diego, and he says, yeah, I had to get out of California. They've wrecked all the same reasons we were talking about. He goes, but you know what? The only thing I can't really stand in your state here, though, is your governor. I went, what? You left Newsom, and you're here with DeSantis. You moved here because what DeSantis has done to the state. I said, dude, you're a wealthy, smart guy. You're an idiot for a guy who's wealthy and smart. I said, and he kind of looked at me, and I said, well, why are you here? Well, I don't know. Why are you here? You came here because of what this state represents now compared to what California has turned into. It's just, even a guy like that, you're going, wow.
So what do you think? What hope do you have for America going forward?
I think we reached a good tipping point. I think people are fed up. More lions are waking up. The sheep are going to be the sheep, but I think more people are waking up, and I think that I don't think there's any possible way that President Trump can lose this election. I really don't. I don't care who they want to throw at him. Mm-hmm. But
isn't it amazing how ununited, how disarray? The Democrat Party. I mean, they're always making fun of the Republicans, how they can't get their act together. I mean, actually, as a Republican, I said Republicans can't get their act together. I'm sure you've said that too.
Sure, of course. Yeah. Democrats do something. We're outraged, and we do nothing.
Right.
So moving on. It's just the weirdest thing in the world. So I've always said we got to be more organized in our hate the way the liberals are.
Yeah.
But then again, the liberals need to look up the word definition of liberal because they don't live that world anymore either.
Well, at least we've recognized the need to get out and early vote. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more conversation about that.
Yeah.
Because you can't just sit back and go, well, it shouldn't be that way because it is that way right now. I mean, maybe they'll change it at some point.
Tens of millions of Christians aren't voting, and that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
No sense.
But you've seen, all these woke pastors and woke churches going out too since COVID. It's crazy. But I have a problem with mail-in voting. I just do. You'll never.
Well, I think we all do.
You'll never have honest elections. Yeah. And even when President Trump was in office, those 4 years, I don't know why that wasn't one of the main issues. I said, let's get rid of this. This is just stupid. To me, it's like making a national holiday. And that's a 1 day to vote. Mm-hmm. You got to vote. In Chile, you have to vote. If you do not vote and you get the 1 day to vote, it's a penalty. You have to go in and vote. Show an ID. You know as well as I do. There's nothing racist about showing an ID. I travel all the time. There's plenty of African Americans in the line to show their ID to get on, go through the security. They show an ID. I go, how did you get that? Because the Democrats say you guys are too stupid to be able to get an ID.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Show an ID. It's. I don't know. But we have to get rid of mail-in voting because there'll always be cheating on both sides. There'll always be cheating unless we get rid of that.
So at what point in your life did you really care about all this? I mean, did you care about all this when you were Hercules?
Heck yeah. I cared about it back when I was in college.
Really?
The first time I could vote was 20 years old, and I voted for Ronald Reagan in 1980.
Good for you.
That's when I voted. And my parents were besides themselves because I grew up in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. My parents were Hubert Humphrey, Walter Mondale Democrats.
So what happened to you?
Oh, they were, how can you not vote for Carter? And I said, Dad, I think Carter's going to go down as one of the worst presidents we've ever had. And I was right until Obama came along, and then now it got worse with even Biden. So, but really, Carter was horrible. Mm-hmm. Horrible. And
he is on his deathbed, so let's give him a little grace.
Well,
I think he was a good Bible teacher, though.
He was a good Bible teacher, yes. But I'd look at that and sit there, and I followed Reagan. I was a big fan. I wish I could have met him. Living where I lived, I was only 8 miles away from the Reagan Library, and we went at least every 3 or 4 months with the family since we're homeschooled.
That was great.
It was great, and it's packed all the time.
Yeah,
packed all the time.
But when you got to go into Air Force One,
yeah.
Were you a little disappointed?
Very disappointed because he was the last president to have that. It started with JFK.
Yeah.
Because it's tiny compared to what they get today.
Right.
They go, we're printing more money and ripping people off with more taxes. Let's build a bigger plane. And that's what they got now. But yeah, you walk in and go, wow, this is actually kind of humble.
Right.
Compared to the way they travel today.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool the way they set up and suspended it, and it looks like it's going over the mountains there.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. But it's
absolutely. And you are in the upcoming Reagan movie.
I am finally coming out. I think we've shot it over 3 years or something like that. I shot my stuff probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago or more. I only shot a couple days. I'm only in about 5 or 6 scenes in it, but it was still fun. I play the pastor to the younger Reagan, played by David Henry. Him and his father. His father's a producer. They escaped as well. They live up in Idaho. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
And Dennis Quaid is here now.
Dennis Quaid is here and has got his ranch up in Montana.
Yeah.
So Dennis and I first met. Sean McNamara directed this one. He also directed us in Soul Surfer, the Bethany Hamilton story. The girl lost her arm. And so we shot that for a couple months on the North Shore of Oahu. That was a fun gig. That was a good one to get because I only worked like 2 or 3 days a week, so I golfed the other 5 days. And Dennis golfed with me quite a bit as well. We had a good time.
I saw an early cut of that movie, I don't know, a year ago, and I think we got 10 minutes in the movie, and I honest to God thought that Dennis became Ronald Reagan. I thought I was watching Ronald Reagan.
That's
he nailed it. Yeah.
He played Clinton too. He did like a TV movie or something.
I won't count that against him.
I know, but he played both presidents.
So we're here to talk about Firing Squad, the Firing Squad.
Sure.
And I want you to talk to me about that, how you got involved. First of all, what is this, are you on your 100th picture yet?
I'm only on, I've done 90 now.
90, okay. I'm off
90.
by 10, yeah.
I've got 3 more this year to shoot.
Wow.
And then I just got, for my Sorbo Studios, please go to sorbostudios.com. It's always about raising money for my independent movies. I shoot movies in the $3, $4, $5 million range, which is catering budget and Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's always like pulling teeth getting those things. But I just signed a 6-picture deal for 3 years. And I'm directing them and starring in all of them. And I got some very good scripts.
So why did you choose the Firing Squad?
Love true stories. I've always been a fan of true stories. So Tim Che, the director, came to me. We've been talking for years and to do something. We can never seem to get together. He sent me the script. My character's kind of a secondary character in there. The main character really is James Barrington's character. But I love the story behind it. I love the story about my character, that when he was in his late 20s, he was over there surfing in Indonesia, and he got in a fight with a guy and he killed him. He got the death penalty. The death penalty is still, the Firing Squad is still their means of their death penalty in Indonesia. And so while he was in prison all these decades, he found God, found religion in his life, became a pastor, started every day basically preaching to other fellow inmates, guards and everything. And he ultimately was executed on 2015. But I find that just an amazing story. When James's character comes in, the other actor, I look at it, I tell people it sort of reminds me of, what was that? Hacksaw Ridge. Mm-hmm. The Mel Gibson movie, where that character, real true story, he kept saying, just let me save one more, God. And that's what my character did. And this will be my last soul. This kid reminds me of me when I was in his age. And I want to save one more before I go. And he does. So it's a powerful story, and I love it. And Tim's whole thing is, says he hopes that this will save 1 million souls. And I said, well, we better hope we get a 4-month run in the theaters. But I hope that can happen. But it's a wonderful movie, and I hope people show up. FiringSquadFilm.com.
What is it about faith-based films that resonate with the audience today? Why are there so many that are? First of all, is this a record year? I mean, it's like, seems like there's a faith-based film in the theaters like every other week.
Well, still Hollywood doesn't jump on that bandwagon. I feel like, as Christians and even conservatives in Hollywood, we're the ones in the closet now. The gays are out in full force. It's really the Christian conservatives that have to be in the closet. I wasn't. I mean, Hollywood booted me out over 10 years ago. My manager and agent said, we can't work with you anymore. And I was like, well, they know where you stand. I go, well, I've always stood this way. I've not
Did they really say that?
Oh, yeah. They said that the winds had changed here. Hollywood is changing, and they don't like. Oh, look, that Disney guy came out last week or 2 weeks ago and said, we do not look at white male conservatives. Admitted it on tape. I mean, look at commercials today. I go, wow, there was a white guy in a commercial. That had to be a mistake. So, but this is the world we're living in right now, which is just weird. This wokeness is stuff crazy. But I formed Sorbo Studios after that. A lot of other independent producers come to me as well. And I think the independent world's exploding because the camera equipment is cheaper today, just like anything else, right? Technology gets cheaper. So you can go off your iPhone. I mean, you don't have to have these big cameras anymore, and it's so people can put together quality looking, high quality looking scripts. Are getting bigger and better all the time, and you get more and more, bigger name actors want to be involved in them. And there's money to be made there. I did a movie called Let There Be Light that Sam wrote. My wife Sam wrote, and I directed it. Here's a $2.3 million movie. Sean Hannity funded it. We opened it against Thor Ragnarok, a $300 million movie back in 2018. 2.3. We're number 2 per screen average. Number 2. I get a call Monday from Netflix saying, Kevin, we want to talk to you. With your Soul Surfer, God's Not Dead, What If, Abel's Field, we know that you got a foot in this inspirational world. We want to talk about opening inspirational division here at Netflix. So I go to their offices in Hollywood. Big money, Netflix offices there on Hollywood Boulevard. Had 4 meetings over 4 months with these guys. Ultimately, they did nothing. And on the last meeting, I said, this is crazy. You guys called me. There's 80 million homes that want this kind of product. Why are you blowing me off of this? And I could tell half the people in that Netflix room were agreeing with me. They got to keep their mouth shut. They're afraid. They don't want to lose their jobs. And I said, you can laugh all the way to the bank making money off of stupid Christians. But there's a market out there, and I gave them some great product. They're not like in your face. You better believe in God or you're going to hell. I don't like doing those kind of movies. I want to do movies like A Blind Side. Great message, great sports movie all together. So nothing happened, which was really sad to me. And I think 10 years ago it would have happened. But the winds have changed quite a bit in Hollywood right now. Look at Disney, $1.4 billion loss, I think I read for last year. But my biggest, that's a conspiracy guy in me. I think our tax dollars, DC is funding them under the table. No, keep the message going. Then they can make everything normal again. It's like abortion, right? Initially, when the Roe v. Wade happened, I'm sure there are people go, "Well, that's horrible." Then 5 years goes by, 10 years, then it just becomes commonplace and normal.
Right.
It's not a big deal. You're not killing a human being. Well, you are. But let's talk about that. My body, my choice. No, if it was your body, you'd be dead too. But we can talk about that later.
Well, you found your niche, which is a great niche, and there's a huge demand for the content.
Sure.
And you're absolutely right. Hollywood's been afraid to touch this stuff.
Yeah.
And when they do touch it, it's always the Hollywood version of it.
Yeah.
They leave the truth out.
It's interesting. When God's Not Dead came out, $2 million budget, makes $140 million worldwide. DVD, streaming, theatrical, everything. I get invited, Sam and I, we got invited to Paramount's release. We went to the Paramount studio to watch Noah. All right, Russell Crowe. And we get there, and the producer, I'm assuming the only Christian in the whole production set, walks out and he apologizes ahead of time for the movie. He says, now you gotta take the movie with a grain of salt. You understand, this is the director's sort of interpretation of the story of Noah. And the director was atheist. In the Jewish community of Hollywood, why would you hire a atheist to do something from the Old Testament that is the Jewish Bible, so to speak? Why would you do that? It's weird. And when the movie, and we're halfway through the movie, Sam and I, did you see the movie? No?
Yeah, sure.
So halfway through the movie, Sam looks at me and she goes, Kevin, this isn't Noah. This is Waterworld meets Transformers. She says. And so
true.
So at the end of the movie, they came out to do Q&A, and Sam were back. We're back like 30 rows. There's somebody in the up front says, hey, when do you think Hollywood would want to do more movies like, well, say God's Not Dead, which is doing really well right now? And the guy says, well, you know what? We'll leave the independent, smaller budgets to independent producers. We're going to keep doing the bigger budget movies. That was his answer. So here we are.
So where do you want to take Sorbo Studios? What's your dream?
To have a real studio would be awesome. I'm grateful for where it's going now, and I'm more than grateful. It's been every time we've been funded, it's always been a God thing. I mean, out of the blue, Hannity calls me up. Hey, I love your movies. I want to do one. I'm at a speaking event at CNP out in Palm Springs. We're doing a Q&A with the audience out there. I'm signing my book afterwards. A guy walks up. He says, can you make a movie with this? He puts a napkin across to me. I look at him and, yes, I can. And that way, Miracle in East Texas, which came out in theaters last year. Another true story, written by the wonderful Dan Gordon. And so I'm hoping that I'd keep the ball rolling. And I think with this latest contract I just signed to do 2 movies each year for the next 3 years with the scripts that I have, I'm feeling pretty fortunate to keep on going. I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. I'm never going to retire.
Yeah.
God willing, I'm working in my 90s still, and just keep plugging along.
By the way, you hear the mower outside, right? We're in Nashville. That's what you get with the home studio. You get the lawnmower in the background.
You can barely hear that, though. You can barely hear that. I get that in my neighborhood. I get that. We get that. It's funny. When we got out of the car and I said, "There we are, the sounds of suburbia, right there." So
the real world.
We got it all the time in my hood.
So how are you and Sam doing? I mean, she's a firecracker. How do you guys get through the day?
I just say yes. Yes,
she's trying to teach me that too. She's like saying, Shelley's just like, just say yes, and we'll be done with this conversation.
Right. She's busy. I told you she's doing Patriot.tv, General Mike Flynn's new podcast, like Daily Wire. And I think Joe Pags is on there as well, and a couple other people. So she's plugging along with that. She and I just finished writing a devotional for Christmas coming out in October called The 40 Days of Christmas. And we alternated writing chapters in there and Bible verses and things. And then, we're still getting out there. My speaking events are going great. I do mostly pro-life. Christian education is Sam's world, and homeschooling. She travels with that. And we're still, it's been great. We homeschool all the way through. All my kids now are 22, 20. My daughter is 18. She's actually at a Christian summit right now in North Carolina for the next 2 weeks.
That's so hard to believe, because when we were hanging out at your house, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, so they were just little kids running around.
Yeah, when we moved in that neighborhood, the kids were 2, 4, and 6.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I remember.
Do you know how
you had the chickens and did you have bunny rabbits or something?
No, they're just out there naturally. They're just everywhere. But we had the house for sale. We knew we were ready to leave, and I don't know if I told you the story, but you remember the fires came through in 2018.
Came right down to your property.
We had that shooting at that club. There was and that guy went in that military.
They're on the 101.
Killed three of the 22-year-olds were from my church.
Yeah.
Godspeak, where Pastor Rob McCoy is out of. And so the fires came through the next day. I flew to Indianapolis to speak in an event there with Steve Green, Mr. Hobby Lobby. And I get a ping 3:00 in the morning, and Sam says, "We got to get out of the house right now." I said, "What?" The fire's like 500 yards from our house. I'm freaking out. She says, "Nothing you can do. We'll be fine. We got a place to go to." I'm freaking out all night long. I couldn't sleep. I put on KTLA, Channel 5. I'm watching that, And so I get back home. I go up. Here's the thing, the power of prayer, right? I get up to speak. I took an earlier flight. Steve Green, we switched speaking. Let me speak right away at 8:00 in the morning. There's prayer breakfast. 2,100 people stood up and prayed for my house. I lost it on stage. I was like, guys, how am I going to get through this? So I get home. I drive over there. The cops stop me now, and the smoke's everywhere. Early next morning, I went another way. I went over to Lindero up through Canaan, and then popped up to my house there. And the gate opened up. I get up, my house is standing. I went, what? And a cop pulls up. Hey, you can't be here. Oh, Kevin Sorbo, I'm a huge fan. I said, look, my wife had to leave. I just got to get stuff out of the safe. I'll leave. I didn't leave. I lied. He left. I went around, and the fire came within 3 feet of our house and went around. Jumped Canaan, burned more homes down there on North Ranch Golf Course. Jumped the 101, another 13 miles all the way down to Zuma Beach. Burnt all the way through. No smoke damage. My neighbor on the other side missed his house too, filled with smoke damage. House across the street. We had 3 homes in that neighborhood of 7 down to the ground. One right next door to me. And I'm going, okay, tell me this is power in prayer. This is amazing. And then a guy knocks on my door. He was a director. Can't remember his name now, horrible. He directed the first Doctor Strange movie. He said, I lost my house. It's gone. Can we rent it for the next 2 years? I know you guys want to sell it. Can we rent for 2 years? Our insurance company would pay triple your mortgage. Sam, we're moving to Florida. And within a year they bought it. It wasn't even a full 2 years because their house still, there's so many homes that burnt down.
Really?
All they had at that point after a year was just all the debris was cleared. But they didn't start a building, and the kids loved the house. We've been in the house, beautiful. We got that
beautiful
270-degree view on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
It was just.
I was out there during a fire, and because I'd go out there once a month or so because my kids were in school and all that at Calvary at Oaks Christian.
Oaks Christian,
and,
sure.
I was staying in a little hotel, what's the hotel I stay at? Palm Garden, right? Yeah. That up there in Newberry Park.
Sure.
And I remember there was smoke all around.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I got to get out of here, right? Because the yellow helicopters from LA County or whatever, the red helicopters from Ventura or the other way around, everything, fire zone, right? And I said, I feel it's not safe around here. A fireman overheard me. He says, look at that parking lot. Okay. And there was like all these fire engines out there. He goes, this is where we stay. I guarantee you this place ain't burning down. You're safe here. You're safe here. It's where all the firefighters would stay.
That's where they hang out.
So I'm like, okay, I'm hanging here.
Yeah. What donut shop do you want to go to? The one with no cops or a bunch of cops?
But you know, I'm the only thing I miss is the weather.
Yeah,
that's about it. But I've gotten so used to the Nashville scene and the Nashville weather that
we love where we're at. We love where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean, I get invited. Sam and I do something at Mar-a-Lago about every 6 weeks. We get invited a lot. You know, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's just the people we've met have been great. The first year we were in Tampa, that's where my wife's sister lives, and Sam said, last night, I just want to try over there, and we got very lucky with this place we found, because I told her I want space. We're in a horse community, so everything's 5 or 10 acres. We got 5 acres on a lake, and I grew up in a lake in Minnesota. I go off my dock and I catch bass right off my dock. It's just fun. It's relaxing.
So I got to ask you the absolute truth. You got to be totally honest with me, and that is, what's Trump's golf game really like?
He's actually a good golfer. The absolute truth.
So he really could beat Biden.
Is he a two? It wouldn't be close. It would not be close. That was a funny exchange during that talk. I thought it was pretty bizarre. But he would destroy him. He would destroy him. He hits a ball still very well. I mean, if I'm up on golfing that great, I'm 77 years old, and great short game. And I'll tell you something. You know what he does? Because you get the Secret Service with us. You got 2 guys in carts ahead, 2 with us, 2 behind. The 2 ahead, because he golfs fast like me. I forced him about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Flies pretty quick. They go to the group ahead that's maybe teed off. Right? Hey, the president's coming through, and they know. They'll move over. They know the routine. We'll tee off. He goes over. Does this every time. He drives up, gets out of his cart, shakes all their hands, thanks them for being there. Hope you have a great game. We'll be out of your way right away, but God bless you all, and gets back in his cart. Think Obama would do that? No. No bloody way. It's pretty cool. People don't see that. They have no idea. He's a smart guy, and he's a good man.
So at the point that we're recording this, and I don't know, things could have changed in the last 5 minutes. At the point we're recording this, Biden claims he has COVID.
Claims.
And of course, yesterday, I think earlier, he said, hey, if first it was, if Jesus comes down and tells me, then I'm out of here. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm in it. And then yesterday, I think he said something about if I have a medical condition or something.
My prediction, he's going to pull out in the next 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're going to put Harris in there because what can they do? And there's no way she can win. I remind people that sit there, she'd be great. No, she wouldn't be great. You guys remember the Democrat primary of the 12, 13 people? She was the first one out. Right. She was less than 2% of the vote. 98% of Democrats didn't want her for president. I mean, look at her as vice president. I mean, that was a diversity hire. I mean, I'm sorry.
So who will our vice president be?
I don't know. But they throw in Newsom. I look at Newsom and go, okay, he's got great hair, but beyond that, what? Look what he's done to the state. But people don't remember these things. Look what he's done to the state. A buddy of mine left San Diego about 1.5 years ago, and he said, you go to U-Haul, it's so hard to get a U-Haul. I have to sign up, I had to wait like a couple of weeks because no one's returning them back because they're not going back that way. And they had a big framed photo of Newsom saying Employee of the Year. That was pretty good.
Well, thank you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. It's great catching up with you.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah. And we wish you the best with the Firing Squad coming out in August.
Thank you. August 2nd. FiringSquadFilm.com. Check it out.
And thanks again, Kevin. It's always great to have you right here at the homestead. We love you, man. We really support you and your wife, Sam, and everything you're doing at Sorbo Studios. And folks, definitely go out and check out this movie, The Firing Squad. It hits theaters on August the 2nd all across America. You can get your tickets. You can check out where it's playing in your area at thefiringsquadfilm.com. That's thefiringsquadfilm.com. You can see the address right there on our screen. And of course, I got to tell you, there's a great cast There's somebody in this movie that's actually won an Academy Award, and that's Cuba Gooding Jr. And guess who is stopping by the homestead for our next episode of CIA Contagious Influencers of America? That's right. Right here with me will be Academy Award winner Cuba Gooding Jr. right here in the homestead. So you're going to want to check that out. I can't wait for that. And that'll be on our next episode of CIA. Okay. Now, if you'd like to check out all of our episodes that we've done so far of CIA, it's really simple. Just go to contagiousinfluencers.com. Just check that out. And of course, you can check out our radio show website at KeepTheFaith.com. Now, our radio show is just amazing, but the website is really amazing because there you're going to find episodes of our radio show. You're going to find episodes of the podcast. You're going to find all kinds of goodies, all kinds of freebies, takeaways, etc. So check that out at KeepTheFaith.com. All right? Do that for me, will you? Until next time, I'm David Sams, and this has been CIA, Contagious Influencers of America, from the producers of Keep the Faith. And do me a favor this week. Go out there and live that life in living color, because it sure is a heck of a lot more interesting than living in black and white. Okay? See you next time.